Hello everybody and welcome back to Leeton. My name's Jace and I've only had a few days off from the garden, probably 5 or 6 days, other than a bit of watering, and everything has gone mad, absolutely mad. I'm sure these potatoes have grown a good foot in the last week, and cucumbers, the chilies, the melons, everything has just gone mad. And I've just been so busy at work that I've had to step back just for a few days. And today I've been putting plasterboard up in the house, things like that. So it's all got a bit out of control, to be honest. And quite a lot of weeding to do. Got stuff to plant out. I've got some lettuce and that's really gone past its best now. And because of the rain we've had lately, the slugs have started to get to them as well. I've been coming out on an evening after work and harvesting what's been available. Then we've had some really good cucumbers, quite a few. Some nice strawberries, Monster 2, what else? Lettuce, radish, all the normal stuff. We've been having more broccoli, and you should see the broccoli that is ready to come out now. I think it's probably the best broccoli I've ever grown, as in the heads, you know. So I think tomorrow, which for you guys is going to be a second, but I think tomorrow I'm going to get a wall plastered in the house and then get out here and spend half a day in the garden and get on top of it, because there's just so much to do, and it's going to be a nice day tomorrow as well. So I'm going to get up early, get the plastering done, and then get out here. So what will be a nice relaxing evening for me is going to be a split second for you. Well, thankfully the wall's done, and I've literally just come down to the garden, and as you can hear, it's raining. Don't get any break with it, do I? Got so much to do out there. Well, hopefully it's not going to last too long, so I'm just going to chill out in the shed and have a brew, and hopefully we'll be able to crack on in a bit. So one of the jobs that I've got to do is pull these radishes that I planted between these French beans, because they're just way too big now, and we just couldn't possibly eat them all on salads, etc. So we found a recipe for a radish soup, which Julie's going to have a go at. So I'm going to pull all the radishes that are ready in the garden. And these are a variety called icicle. Quite nice. But as you can see, if I leave them much longer, all that's going to happen is the slugs and that will get to them. And they'll go hard and woody as well as the plants try and bolt and seed. So it's time for them to come up. We have a winner. There's my finger. There's a radish. That's a big radish. And while I'm over at this bed, I'm just going to go around and give a helping hand to any of the climbing beans that need it, just to get going in the direction that they should be. So we're over at the bed where we have the courgettes, butternut squash. There are some tomato plants in here, but I think they've just been swamped, to be honest. And we have got quite a few courgettes down there. Now they're not very big, probably only sort of 4 inches. But I'm thinking I might take some of them because it might encourage the others to grow a bit bigger. And you see, this one's rotted, this one's no good, so that's going to come off and that'll go in the compost. But they don't seem to be getting any bigger, and I'm thinking take them now while they're still small. Now the butternut squash, it's just gone berserk. This tomato, look, getting totally swamped by these. And I think it's put out some side shoots now, which are growing in completely the wrong directions. So I'm going to take them off. Now, I've heard people say you shouldn't do it. I have in the past, I've never had a problem. And I'm going to keep training this one, so it's now come out of the bed, down the wall. I've put a piece of cloth there to stop it rubbing on the breeze block, and it comes along and it starts to go along the floor. I'm going to leave it on the floor for now, but at some point I might make some hooks and try and get it to go along this wall. But there's our first squash growing. We've had a few start and they've aborted, but this one seems to have set, so hopefully it'll keep going. There's one there that looks like that might be aborting. I don't know, we'll leave it for now. So these here are the parsnips that I sowed January in the cardboard pots, and I'm thinking, should we try one? Should we just pull one and see? 6 months now, just over, and these are white gem. Now in my experience parsnips need a bit longer than that, but the foliage is kind of full grown, and I'm thinking with this nice warm weather we've had and all that lot, maybe they could be there or thereabouts. I don't know. We'll probably end up with quite a small parsnip. And the other thing is, I've never grown root crops in this soil before, so for all I know it could be like forked, it's hit stones and things like that and it's forked, so we'll find out. Yeah. Well, it's got a deep root. Now, they say that if you push first, pull and push. Yep, here we go. Yeah, we've hit stone. Like the alien. But this bit, well, all of it is edible. Had that not forked, that might actually be ready, which is kind of making me think, shall I pull another one? I think I will. yeah, this soil, as I did say when I sowed parsnips and planted these out, quite a lot of stones in it, but I can rectify that. I can dig these out and super them if I need to. But the actual parsnip has grown well, other than it's forked because of a stone. So while we're at this bed, I'm going to take some more radishes. Add a bit of variety to the soup. Now, I'd just like to mention with the old parsnips, some people apparently can have a nasty burn reaction to the sap. I've never experienced it, but my skin is a bit like a rhino. So some people, I believe, have a reaction to the sap, and it's like a burn, a bad burn, and it's especially more likely, they're more vulnerable if it's a sunny day as well, apparently, because of the sunlight on the sap and on the skin. So just beware. So over here where I planted the pak choi, they were bolting, some of them, before I planted them, and they've continued to. So they're no good. That one's no good. That one's flowering, that one's flowering. Now these leaves, I guess, could still be eaten. Let's try one. Bit bitter, to be honest. That's flowering. In fact, they're all flowering. So pak choi this year, so far at least, isn't going to work. So that's okay. I've got more swede that we'll put in this area, and we'll just fill this bed up with swede, and these will go on the compost. Some nice spring onion. White Lisbon, that is. Tumbling Tom tomato. These are gorgeous. I'm going to eat this on my way around the garden. Tell you what, some of these red onions are starting to look okay. We've had to pick quite a lot early because they were bolting red onion sets, pretty normal. But the ones that haven't are starting to bulb up. I mean, that's probably a good 2.5 inches across, something like that. So yeah, hopeful. Now the garlic, it's starting to yellow on the tops. It's not putting out any new growth now. In fact, that is the start of a flower, I believe. So these aren't scapes, I don't think, are they? Because they're hardneck garlic. Or am I wrong? I don't know. I'll have to Google that, but I am thinking, should I pull one of these, especially that one if it's trying to flower, and see what progress is like. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So, not the biggest bulb of garlic I've ever seen, but we've got 1, 3, 4, 5, I think, maybe 6 cloves there, I believe. So I guess we'll just let that dry out a bit for a day or two, see what happens, and if it's all good, I might come down and pull some more. Alright guys, these are the chilies. Some there, I think there's 3 or 4 there, and there's some more there. And I'm really pleased with the way these are going. If you remember, I did that potting mix for these with farmyard manure, compost and stones, grit basically, and they really are coming on. Now we've had some hot weather, we've had nice weather, and I've been watering them when needed, so, but lots of flowers, and the first chilli of the year. Now, I don't know if that's ready. I don't know what sort of chilli it is. I've got no idea, because the packet was a mixed packet of seeds. There's another one coming there, look. There's quite a few on this plant. So, no, I think that's ready. It feels a bit soft. I think that's ready. Oh no, you know what's coming next. Said chili. Only one way to find out. Now, a word of advice: if you are at an allotment and you're about to do this, make sure that you've got a drink with you, preferably milk. Milk is really good. I'm fortunate that I'm in my back garden, so that if I do feel that my head is about to explode, I can run up to the house and stick my head in the kitchen sink or something. That's a tiny little slither. Oh, it's alright to it while you're chewing it, and when you swallow it, it hits the back of your throat. Now I'm quite good with spice, so, and heat. I mean, on a scale, for those of you that eat curry, I'm a jalfrezi man. You know, it used to be vindaloo, but I'm a jalfrezi man now, and they can be quite spicy, quite hot. I actually think this could have been left longer, because it's actually quite packly dense in the centre with seeds and pith, I believe you'd call it. So yeah, I think it could have been left longer and it will get quite a lot bigger. So I'll know that now. Obviously not knowing what sort of chili it is or anything, it was all a bit of a guess, but that's actually quite good. Yeah, quite hard, quite yeah, quite a kick to it. And I think the seeds need to get bigger as well. Yeah, I think maybe that's a bit hotter than I first envisaged. I'm going to add this to the tray and go and get a drink. Okay guys, I'm pleased with them, very pleased, and probably some of the best broccoli I've ever grown. And I've got all this at the front too, got all that. These are smaller pieces, individual stems, but you know, it doesn't matter how small the piece is, you can still eat it. So we've got a cauliflower. Yet to see any slug damage inside, but I think that's okay. It looks it from underneath. We've got some broccoli leaves. Let's put these down. We've got our 2 deformed parsnips. We've got the young cabbage leaves off the Baltic Savoy, and then at the back, smallish 2. Garlic, spring onion, some baby courgettes, and some more radish. That's not a bad hour down the garden, is it? Okay, so now I've finished picking everything. I mean, we have got some strawberries knocking around and things like that too, but I'm not going to bore you with everything. But now I've got the cover off the brassica cage. I'm thinking those empty spaces that I've now got where I took the cabbage out and that cauliflower, and there might be a couple of the broccoli plants that have now completely finished. I'll need to check. I'm going to give it a clear out, get any dead leaves out, things like that, any big weeds, and then I've got some cauliflower that is desperate to be planted out. It's been in these modules far too long, so any spaces I've got I'm going to fill with these. Okay, so I've gone along and de-leafed anything that was low down, touching the ground, slug damaged, like badly, dead, you know, all that sort of stuff, off the brassicas. And what that does is allow more light in to the ground, and it helps the surface dry out a bit more as well, deterring slugs a bit. So it's all good. What I'm going to do here is plant one of those cauliflower. So I'll pick a healthy looking one so that the slugs have something nice to eat, you know. One there maybe. As you can see, they're desperate to get out. I'm going to plant them really deep, give it some support, firm it down, and then I do have one of these left, one of these copper fence things, copper mesh, and a spike. So I've got it, I might as well put it in. I'm not convinced they really do much. So but it's there. Alright guys, so that's the cover back on. And if you probably noticed, it might, on the camera, it might have been a bit of wind noise today, and it is quite breezy. And that's one of the reasons I did this today, because when you uncover these, the cabbage white try to get on there, and if there's a fair breeze, it makes it a bit more difficult for them. But I've not seen any flying around this afternoon, so I don't know what wind speed grounds the cabbage white, but we're over it today. So, but what the wind does make you think about is what needs tying up. So I've got peppers, chilies over there that need tying up. Those peas, those ones too, I need to do something with them. And the bell peppers down the middle here, these are also starting to grow some fruit, lots of flowers. And I'm using this method of two strings either side, one string either side between stakes, and you just basically let the stem grow up between them, and every so often, like here, you just have to go along and adjust the leaf to keep them nice and comfortable between the strings, and it works really well. So I think they're fine, and they're sheltered as well by all these main crop potatoes today with this wind, so that's good. El celeriac's coming on, and the celery. So this is all more lettuce. I've just pulled some old looking lettuce to put in the compost, and if you've ever done it and it's all mouldy and rotten from the inside, and you grab hold of it and it just goes and your hand's covered in goo. Well, that's just happened to me. So yeah, it's looking all right now. Just noticed the dwarf beans, they're coming into flower, and we've had loads of cucumbers, but there's a little one baby one coming. And this plant's doing really well, growing up this post, so I'm pleased with that. So those of you that are a regular will know that in front of these tomatoes here I had spinach growing. Well, it's gone past its best now, and it's just gone in the compost. Great, I've just added a load of greens to the compost. So I'm going to give this a weed, and I'm going to put some chard there that I've had growing in modules. So get on with that. Okay, well, I've been round and tied up tomatoes and peppers, chilies, cucumbers, etc. And it's starting to lose the light a bit now, so I'm going to go in, eat the veggies that we picked earlier for tea, sort of some of them, and happy days. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do. I'll see you next time.